Shalom friends, Aaron here. I am making diaper rash cream, and I thought basically when I finished it that I should share that with you. So I can still give you a pretty good idea how it goes. So first of all, the ingredients. Organic coconut oil. You want to get cold pressed unrefined to use for this. And then some organic shea butter. We just get whatever we can find that's on sale. This one happens to have some natural fragrance to it, tangerine citrus. But this is not synthetic fragrance. Has no parabens in it. This is good, clean stuff. Teresa just doesn't like the way this feels on our lips. We also use shea butter as like a, I make lip balm using beeswax, shea butter, and coconut oil. Teresa likes to just put shea butter on. So, but she doesn't like this. We have one that's got no, well, I'll find it for you. It's a mess in here. We're still in the middle of our renovations. Making progress, but not done, of course. Or I would tell you I was done. This one I got at Whole Foods. This one has no fragrance. She likes to use that one better. But I'm saving that for lip balm. So this is the one I'm using for the diaper cream. So shea butter, organic shea butter. And then you need some beeswax. And I have read that the more yellow it is, the cleaner it is. I suppose that probably means it has less bee parts and like honeycomb parts. These are supposed to be pellets, but most of the pellets are stuck together. But anyway, this goes a long way. Like, you can make a lot of stuff out of that. That's a 1 pound bag. I bought that on Amazon. It was maybe like 11 bucks. Thinking I paid a similar price for the zinc oxide powder, and the zinc oxide powder, this is the main ingredient in diaper rash creams and a lot of lotions, like in Desitin and stuff like that. That's what the main ingredient is. You know, we buy that in bulk at Costco, and that's pretty cheap. And then the arrowroot, Teresa gets that at maybe like Walmart or something, or a local grocery store. I use this like on my feet. This is, first of all, talcum powder is poison. You know, like that's just not good stuff to put on you. And cornstarch powder probably would be fine, except it's likely to be all genetically modified. So this is really, like, you can substitute anything you use powder for, use arrowroot instead. And then we also put in some bentonite clay. Bentonite clay is awesome. It's good for pulling out toxins. You can put it on if you've got acne. You mix it up with a little apple cider vinegar and water, and then put it on, and it hardens up. Leave it sit on for a little while and then wash it off. This is really good for, we put it on insect bites and all sorts of stuff. Draws out toxins, it's got healing properties, really good stuff. So the way we do this, I'm still stirring this, as you can see. This is probably about a 12-ounce jar. This is a better than bouillon jar I put it in. And let's see, focus in here. You see that this stuff doesn't all dissolve in here, the powders. Some of them do. The clay, some of the bigger particles of the clay don't. And they are just sort of suspended in there. This is going to get hard, like the shea butter, and stay that way. Only not quite as hard as the shea butter. It's creamy and easy to apply as a diaper cream. It's really great stuff. So the process takes longer to melt the beeswax. So I melt the beeswax by itself in a separate stainless steel pan, and then I take the coconut oil and the shea butter and melt them in a pan. And this is, I'm going to give you what would be a half of this, what I call one batch. This is 2 batches to fill up this 12-ounce jar. But one batch would be a 1/4 cup of coconut oil, 1/3 cup shea butter. Melt that. And then it is 1 tablespoon of organic beeswax, melting separately. And I find that when this mixture, the shea butter and the coconut oil has melted and the beeswax is still melting, it's best for me to take the bentonite clay because that is the one that's hardest to get mixed up and not be lumpy. And when I add in the other powders with the bentonite clay, I find that it's harder to get the lumps out. So I do this first, and the bentonite clay I'm putting in 1 tablespoon. So I'll put that right into this mixture when it's melted and stir that up until it's not lumpy at all. By the time I'm done mixing that up, my beeswax is pretty much done. I'll dump the beeswax in. And then I put in 2 tablespoons of the zinc oxide powder. Again, that's one of the main active ingredients, or the only active ingredient in like diaper creams and a lot of lotions. And then I put in 1 tablespoon of arrowroot powder. And I mix that all up until I've got no lumps. And then I pour that into the jar I'm going to keep it in. I would think no matter what you're using, BPA free or whatever, it's better not to put this in a plastic container, especially because it goes in hot. And then you just mix it up until it starts to thicken. You don't have to do it constantly. It's kind of fun to do it. I'll usually sit and read while I mix it and stir it. And what I'm trying to do is just keep all of these particles. The dark gray ones are from the bentonite clay. The white ones are from the zinc oxide and the arrowroot. And then once that feels like it's starting to thicken up, I put it in the freezer for 15 to 30 minutes. Usually 15 to 20 is enough. And maybe one time in the middle of that process of hardening in the freezer, I'll take it out and stir it up again just to make sure that my suspension is even. I don't want all these particles to settle on the bottom and not have all that stuff on the top. Once this hardens up, it's awesome. I mean, it coats as well as like a Desitin. But because Desitin is greasy and is actually a petroleum oil, which has parabens in it, I mean, the better it's refined, the less likely it is to have impurities and parabens, but it's probably going to have some. And there's other problems with it. It's not a moisturizer, it just keeps moisture out. And it doesn't necessarily keep moisture in either. It's just, it's really, I shared some stuff about that on a video I did, and maybe on a Facebook post. It's really just a byproduct of oil refinery, and they found a convenient use for it. And it does have it does sometimes aid in healing of like cuts and things, petroleum jelly, but it also could really be harming our system, and we're building up toxins. This stuff's non-toxic. It has lots of healing properties. Bentonite clay draws out toxins. It's healing. Arrowroot is healing. Zinc oxide powder is healing. The beeswax is really a binder that holds everything together, but there's some healing properties. That coconut oil is antibacterial, shea butter is antibacterial and moisturizing. Coconut oil is moisturizing. So I would say that once you spread this on, it starts to soak into the skin a little bit, and it doesn't give you that same impression that you've got this like impervious barrier on the baby's skin, but it still coats very nicely, and we've had awesome success with this. It heals diaper rash really quickly. It doesn't stink. It doesn't give you that greasy feeling. I think it's kind of fun to make it. I even have fun kind of stirring it up, and it's just a cool looking cream. I mean, I enjoy using it. I don't know what else to say except like I'm really happy with this. So I'll share a picture of the finished product maybe as the thumbnail for the video, but on our Facebook page, Foster Faith and Family, I shared the recipe. So this is 2 batches. So you take the ingredients, the measurements for the ingredients that I gave you, and just double those to make this 12-ounce jar that I'm stirring up here. But anyway, the next time I make lip balm, which will be pretty soon, maybe I'll actually remember to show you how I melt everything up and make it. So until next time, shalom friends.